You are listening to Doug Thugging number 14. Today is Monday, the 15th of February at around 10:52 a.m. I am your host, John/Doug/Poo-Poo Caca Face. Lot to get through. I'll just start smashing it out. So the February 12th, which I believe was a Friday, our friend Maria, she's from England, but she lives in Australia. For about the past year, she's been living in China, working over there. So she's here for a couple weeks. She had a surprise party on the Friday, but she was at our house. So we had to kind of get her to not go home because her sister had said that she does have a surprise for her, but they got to go. It was like a surprise dinner or something. So Maria's like, well, fuck, I got to go home and change clothes. And, you know, my wife and Sarah, Maria's sister, were liaising via text message, trying to get Maria to not want to go home and doll up, but just stay with it. So basically how it works is you just say, hey, let's all have a nap. So I got off work. I was tired, so I wanted to have a nap. Alex, my wife, she's always keen to have a nap, and Maria got to lay on the white couch and have a nap, and I think we napped for about an hour. And then we were making out like we were going to another friend's house to have dinner, and Maria went home. And we basically, more or less, followed her home. I think she got there maybe 10 minutes before we did. And then, we had a little nice party for her. There was a bit of an Aussie theme to it, so people were dressing like bogans and shit. A bogan, I don't know. Look up the term if you don't know what a bogan is. But, I didn't go that far because fuck that. I don't know. I wasn't in the mood or whatever. But, it was a good little party. We had lots of sausages and hamburgers to eat, and it was good. It was lovely. Around 10:30, I pulled the plug and said, let's go home because we've got Will's wedding tomorrow. And I did MC it, and my content was, all added together. I talked for maybe 2 minutes for the whole thing. So, but, still, you want to do a good job, and you don't want to fuck up or have people think you're a dick, so that was just always on the back of my mind and it started stressing me out a little bit. So Saturday rolls around and we get ready. We go to the wedding and we got those glamping tents are there. So we take all of our luggage and things, not luggage, but like a bag full of clothes and shit, and put them in the tent, look around. I got to know the layout of the joint because I'm the one that's going to have to tell everybody, hey, here's what housekeeping is all about. The bathrooms are here. The food is here, yada, yada, yada. So that's like, I'm not going to be fully free until I'm done with my MC duties. And I don't want to look like a dick. And it just started stressing me out a bit because I was planning on doing it completely sober. But by about half hour before I went on, I had 2 beers. But let me try and explain. The wedding, first and foremost, was fucking awesome. The weather, I think, was about, I don't know, we'll say it was about 30 degrees, probably hotter. It was fucking hot, and I couldn't wear my sport, I bought a suit for this thing, and I wasn't able to wear the jacket yet just because it was so hot, But I don't know how many acres Jacinta, because it was at Jacinta's father's house, and it was just sprawling, sprawling enough to have like 10 tents set up in the backyard. They had this, they hired an outhouse, but it was like luxury. So for the men's room and the women's room, it was all part of the same thing. But you open the door, you got your pisser to the left, and then your shitter to the right, and a sink. An amazing idea. It was fantastic. So they had that, and it was funny. Will, here's how they entered to get married. Will came out on this tiny little fucking so he's wearing a suit. He came out on this tiny little motorbike and drove it up to the area where they were going to get married. And then not long after that, Jacinta's father was wearing this Chinese hat that covers your face from the sun kind of deal. And he was riding a bike, but up on the front of the bike is like a carriage. And Jacinta was sitting in that with, like, I think her niece, one of the ring bearers or something, or a flower girl or something. I don't know. And it was just kind of, it was cute and funny at the same time. It was like, what the fuck is going on here? But it was absolutely fantastic. So he drove, and I felt bad for him because it was hotter than shit. And then he's got to pedal, you know, his daughter and his, you know, granddaughter or whatever up to where they're going to get married. And it's just, there was no gears to this thing. It was just fixed, and it just looked rough. After a while, I was like, shit, do we need to push this guy? But anyways, it all worked out. The ceremony went for about a half hour. And the celebrant, I think his name is John Van Gogh. I'm not entirely sure if that's correct. He looked like Robert Plant from, like, The Song Remains the Same era. Like he was rocking like Robert Plant meets Roger Daltrey. And yeah, it was a cool ceremony. He was a nice guy. A lot of people were clapping and cheering and that kind of thing. And I think Will's cousin, they were getting married the same day. It was a gay couple. Will's cousin was marrying his partner, and that was happening like later that night kind of deal. And Will showed us a photo later on, and those guys were wearing tuxes and shit. It came in on horses and were wearing top hats. I didn't get to see the photo, but it sounded awesome, and they were passing the phone around and that kind of thing. Okay, but now I'm fucking up the times. So that happened. The ceremony happened. Was beautiful, and then just everybody kind of stuck around because this place was sprawling. There was like a I don't even know, a pond. There was a pond in the backyard. There were 2 penny farthing bicycles because apparently Jacinta's dad used to race them. I look, I've got some photos. I'll post them in the slideshow, but these photos are probably not going to do it justice. You will not know, like, there were shipping containers in the back. Like, this place was fucking massive. And it was fantastic. So, you know, what do you usually do after the ceremony and you're waiting to eat? You just kind of hook up with your circle of friends and hang out, which is pretty much what everybody did. Yeah, just hanging out. And I was getting that pre-gig thing going on, because I had to say my piece and shit. So I'm just like, okay, don't get too wild. Just really kind of stick to the script, because I could tell I was like, fuck, I need a drink. And then it was cool because Will's brother Miles came over to me, and he's like, let me check out the run sheet, because he wanted to stay sober so that he could do his speech, but he also wanted to drink as well. So we were kind of in the same boat. I'm like, yeah, dude, I just want to smash out what I need to say, and let's rock out and have a good time. So 6 o'clock rolls around, and it's time to, you know, kind of get the party started inside. And so there were massive tables, really long tables set up, and chairs, and just there were like 2 different eating stations, or like where tables were, and just a massive and it was like in a shed. It just had this like barnyard feel to it. It was, I can't describe to you how fucking awesome it was. So I get up on the mic and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm John. I'm your MC for tonight. And, you know, this is a great being here. And, you know, on behalf of the Power family and the Gaffney family, you know, we're happy to have you here and this kind of thing. And then I had to explain how I know Will. My wife and brother-in-law went to high school with him. They've known each other. Those guys have known each other for absolute fucking years. And Chris and Will are best friends. There's like 3 of them. There's Chris, Will, and Luke. So they're kind of like the 3 Musketeers. And even Ben. There's a guy named Ben there who's like, you know, it's just friends from school kind of shit. And so I did that, and then got everybody up to do the speeches. And then everybody's speech was awesome. Who spoke first? I'm going to say, I'm doing it in the wrong order and tough titties. But Will's mother spoke. Jacinta's father spoke. A priest friend of the father. He blessed. We did a prayer. Jacinta's brother spoke. Who else? Will's brother spoke. And I'm probably missing a person or two, and I'm so sorry if you're listening to this. You won't be. And I didn't get you in there, but yeah. So the speeches were done, which was good. And then, pretty much food was served. And by that stage, bit of drinky, bit of hanging out. I met a few people, which was great. It's always nice to meet people at weddings, and, it was nice to hang out with the people that you already know. So I was kind of hanging out with the wife a little bit, but also hanging out with guys, because there's one kid named Mick who's a guitar player. So there's some guitar talk. I was also hanging out with Alex's brother Chris quite a bit, as well as Dean, the English guy that we do the podcast with. He's a photographer as well. So he brought this massive fucking. You got to see the lens on this fucking thing. You could probably take photos of stars behind the moon and get like right up on it, because this thing looked like a telescope basically. So he was taking photos, and everybody was drinking. Everybody's having a really good time. And I should mention the dance. So that's right. So I think before food's getting served, we had the bride and groom do the first dance, and they did, and they had mapped it like they went to a dance person and were taught a dance, and they did the dance. And at this one point, Will dips Jacinta, and then I think they kiss, and somebody had taken a photo, and this photo is absolutely fucking amazing. I'll put it in the slideshow. It is absolutely amazing photo. Like, it's not even my wedding, and I want to get that blown up and framed and put into our house, because that's how rad it is. He's dipping her. She's looking right at the camera, and it's just like, bing, perfect snapshot in time. Like, an amazing photo. So, yeah. And then, so they dance for 3 songs, and then I invite everybody, and everybody is itching to get onto the dance floor. It's like at a Lamb of God gig where those, the two fucking groups of people are waiting to do the big mosh war bullshit. It was like that, but with wedding people and just women and men, I guess. Gay men, no. Women and men just kind of chomping at the bit and standing on the sides of the dance floor, just waiting for me to say, go for it. And I did. And then, boom, everybody's out there. And I took a couple of pictures from the dance floor. It was awesome. But really good night, really good speeches, great people everywhere. And everybody looked fantastic. I mean, you couldn't go wrong. And so, yeah, that hung out, drank with many people, and my wife had a migraine, so she, at about 10:30, she's like, oh, I just got to go home. So she left, so I had the tent to myself. And there was a guy there named Alex. We're like, dude, what are your plans? He's like, look, I probably got to go home tonight. I'm like, well, fuck that. I go, look, Alex, my wife's gone home. So I'll just sleep on one side of the bed. You sleep on the other side. No banging, and everything's sweet. And he's like, cool. So I showed him, where the tent was and where all being, all this kind of thing. And he was grateful. And you know what? He's just an awesome guy. Alex Galvano is a fucking rock star. So just hanging out. And then finally, I was drunk enough for the point. Oh, there was one funny bit where we walked these people to get the cab. And then this girl dared us to flash our asses at the cab driver. So it was like me, I think another guy, and like 3 girls, and we just went bam. That was cool. And we walked back and hung out and did our thing. So then I just knew I'd had enough. I'm like, okay, I'm not drinking anymore. This is it. So I went to bed. And then and you know how you drink and you wake up at some stupid fucking hour and you're like, okay, I'm not going to get able, to go back to sleep. So I woke up at like 6:37 in the morning, Sunday morning yesterday, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm on my side and I'm facing, outward on the right side of the bed. I'm like, fuck, I wonder if Alex is actually sleeping here. And I turn over and there he is, asleep. So I grab my camera, I grab my phone and my video camera actually, and I leave. I'm like, well, it's early in the morning, no one's gonna be up. I'll take a little walk and film a little bit, and yeah, we'll see how we go. So that's pretty much what I did, and then I got a call from my wife saying, yeah, everything's cool. She feels better. She's coming back out. So she drives back out. It's probably like a 40-minute drive from our joint in Hawthorne to South Meringue. And we just really just hung out all day with the bride and groom. They opened their gifts and stuff. It was just it was a massive, lazy day with family and 3 dogs and not really doing much at all except just talking and sitting down and laying down and just all being together. And we did that all day. And then toward nighttime, we ordered pizza, and we got stuck into the beers again, but just not as crazy. And I think around 10:30, Alex and I pulled the plug, and we went, well, not on the whole thing, just us leaving. And then we went to bed and crashed out. Woke up this morning, tried to tidy up the tent a bit, threw everything in the car, and fucked off. I'm home now. And Alex had university orientation, so that's where she's at till 3 p.m. So I thought I'd knock one of these out. And I wanted to do one of these, and I don't have to. This is the great thing about today, is that I got today, which is Monday. I got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. I go into work Thursday, and then I've got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. So I'm loving it. There's so many things There's so many things I want to do. And I also want to relax as well. So I should probably get out a piece of paper and write down and see how we're going to do this. I bought a suit for the wedding, and it's already fucked up because I left it on the ground and shit. And so that'll have to be steam cleaned or dry cleaned or whatever the fuck. And so that's where we're at now. I'm so happy to be home. I'm watching a renovation show on mute. I gotta probably wash some clothes, and I might have a cavity, so I might have to go to the dentist and have that checked out. I also want to see Deadpool. Dying to see that. Not a massive. I'm not a huge comic book dude, but I just like, crime fighters and shit to kick ass, especially if it's Deadpool sounds like an anti-hero. Don't really know his story all that well, but he's a smart ass, and I like that, and that'll fucking do. I'm like a 15-year-old kid trapped in a 60-year-old man's body. So, yeah, look, I think I've talked enough. I hope you're doing well. And, yeah. March is going to be good because at the end of March, I got a friend from high school coming out for a week. I've already told you this shit. Just listen to one or the other. Listen to Unit 13. Listen to number 13 episode, and you'll hear all that shit. But it'll be good to have him out, and we're going to be doing a podcast with him. And, yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great. I think I'm stalling. I think I have separation anxiety. I need to get off, but I love it too much. But I'm gonna fuck off right now. I had a great time. I hope you enjoyed the photos. Take care of yourself. And, at some stage I'll start doing guitar videos again. But I really kind of feel that I've got nothing to show. I've got nothing new for anybody. I got to get back into it. I played it a little bit today, and I'll probably kind of do that while I'm off. But so much to do, people. So much to do. Okay, I'm going to leave you to it. Have a great one. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.